Hello and welcome to the Slingshot channel. This time I'm coming to you with another video sponsored by Vikings. And the challenge that they brought and were willing to finance is just unbelievable. I was always fascinated by the traditional way how to make a blade, like a knife or a sword. Of course I have to learn how to do that first. And therefore Vikings actually gave me the budget to hire the best in the market, Stefan Roth. I'll explain who Stefan is a little bit later, but first let's go into the game. I have presented it a few times already, but let me repeat why I love it so much. First of all, it reminds me very much of the strategy games we played in the 90s, but now it's on a cell phone, and also of course the graphics is astounding, so much better than what we had back then. I think back then everything happened in our heads. In any case, you are never in a hurry in the game, and you could think about what you want to do, and actually you could choose to do what you can do best. So it is up to you to decide how you want to proceed. Do you want to conquer the land with diplomacy or brute force? Do you want to send out armies and kill everyone? Or do you want to deal with your neighbors and focus on the trade more than on anything else? You have all these possibilities and so many people to play with, because believe it or not, but by now we have 20 million downloads on Vikings. 20 million downloads. So there's plenty of people playing it at the same time. So become a part of the new Viking era, where we have 10 times more Vikings than ever lived in the past. And they had no cell phones. So install it now from the link down below, and you get 200 gold coins, and you also get a protection shield that helps you on the way to a great Viking warrior. Plus also you're helping this channel, since I need these sponsors. Without these sponsors there would be no way that I could afford Stefan Roth by all means. So back to the task. What is the task? Well, they want me to use a traditional forge. So this means just with stuff that was already available in Viking era. So charcoal as a heat source and bellows to pump air into the charcoal so it gets hot enough. And of course just hammers, nothing mechanical really. And the challenge of course is a little bit widened, because I need to build something that combines a slingshot with a blade. And this needs to be done in the traditional way, and the blade must be real, and it must be sharpened, and it must be hardened, the whole deal. So, as a help, I invited Stefan Roth to help me. Who is Stefan? Stefan makes historical blades. This means that it is his job to build beautiful katana art pieces the very traditional way, very much like they are done in Japan as well. Or you could go to him and ask him to make you a perfect Viking sword for a king, with all kinds of fancy steel inside, but made the very traditional way, just very much the same. And of course there is a waiting list. I guess it's still about 3 years, and you have to expect that a sword can easily cost 30,000 euros. It's that good. So Stefan will come with his son, and we will first build the forge that I of course plan to use plenty of times after they've left. And then he will do the sword blade making, and he will harden the blade, and then he will give it to me, and I will have to do all the rest. I will have to do the sharpening, and I will have to do a handle, and I will have to polish it. So all the other steps are left to me. But he will make the blade and the slingshot frame. Okay, Stefan, so here we are, and I try to prepare everything for you. So I made the table and bought all the stones and all the parts. So how do we proceed from here?
Dann müssen die Blaseberge, die müssen wir noch befestigen, weil da können wir ja nicht mit arbeiten, sondern die müssen ja wirklich fest sein.
Ah, so because they suck in the air from here,
genau.
And therefore we have to put them a little bit higher. So.
Genau. Da werden wir jetzt die Hölzer drunter machen, damit wir dann praktisch da unten Luft ziehen können.
And then we will build the entire fireplace here.
Genau.
And then the air will be streamed into here.
Genau. Wir machen das also so, dass wir praktisch beide Blaseberge, die durch ein Y-Stück verbinden, und dann haben wir hier eine Düse aus Lehm, wo wir dann das Feuer mit betreiben können. Und dann kann man halt abwechslungsweise immer rechts, links, rechts, links.
These are really big. Much larger than I thought.
Das sind noch kleine. Geht natürlich viel größer. Ne?
Okay. All right, great. Then let's get to work. Alright, so we have our forge. It's basically finished. Let's go through some details. So first, of course, we see that this is pretty much just an open construction, right?
Das ist richtig.
So there is no need to really have something that's completely closed or so, like you see sometimes in the gas forges.
Ja, also die Gasessen, das ist natürlich eine ganz andere Geschichte. Da hat man also einen Hitzestau, weil man ja dann nur eine Hitzequelle sozusagen hat, also eine Flamme. Und hier spielen wir jetzt mit Holzkohle. Und das ist so, kann man sagen, gut, jetzt die Schamottsteine sind vielleicht nicht ganz authentisch, aber letztendlich hat man so im Frühmittelalter gespielt. 2 Blaseberge, Feuerstelle. Früher hat man das dann halt mit Lehm oder Specksteinen gemacht, das ist also ganz unterschiedlich.
I actually tried to get these bricks, but they didn't have them in the do-it-yourself market that I went to. They only had these things. But they obviously were probably even better than the originals. So.
Genau.
And now this has to harden, so this means that we have to fire it up so that actually everything can now harden.
Ja. Also es muss jetzt erstmal hart werden und das geht relativ schnell, damit das also jetzt nicht alles gleich auseinanderbröselt. Vor allem, wir haben jetzt auch innen drin eine Lehmdüse, die muss jetzt erstmal gebrannt werden, die ist nur getrocknet worden. Und
and obviously you have to make this from clay because if you would use steel then it would melt. So, okay. So sometimes clay is better than steel, believe it or not.
Ja, aber Stahl ist das Problem, es brennt halt einfach ab. Und bei Lehm ist es nicht so. Ne? Gut, der bröselt dann auch irgendwann ab, aber wenn man professionell schmiedet, kann man ungefähr eine Woche bis 10 Tage, wenn man Glück hat, auch 2 Wochen mit einer Lehmdüse schmieden, je nachdem wie gut sie gemacht ist.
And then it has to be replaced, obviously. Okay.
Genau, das machen wir jetzt.
And you have 2 of these blowbacks here just because you want a steady stream. It's not because of the volume of the air, but so that you can lift one and push one down, so that the airstream is actually continuous.
Ja, ja. Wenn man einen guten Rhythmus hat, das ist natürlich die Voraussetzung dafür. Ne?
And you just told me that earlier the people that had to operate these, that was West. Because obviously the hammering is much more exhausting than
Aber da kann man eigentlich im Prinzip alles schon mitschmieden, was man so für den alltäglichen Gebrauch braucht.
So you could do a sword, a full sword in this, right?
Ja, genau. Man kann also jetzt im Prinzip, man braucht auch keinen großen Amboss, also dieser Amboss ist eigentlich schon fast so groß, also die frühmittelalterlichen Ambosse sind vielleicht so groß, 10 x 10 cm, da kann man ein Schwert drauf schmieden, das reicht völlig aus.
So all you need is an anvil that is like 4 inches by 4 inches, and then you can go for a full long sword.
Genau, ja. It's enough.
And there is no advantage of like a modern gas the forge versus this. So you can achieve the same temperature, right?
Genau. Also man kriegt da also problemlos die Temperatur rein. Man kann also jetzt auch mit diesen beiden Blasebälgen, kann man also locker so ein 3 bis 4 oder 5 Kilo Paket Feuer schweißen, also durchfalten. Das ist kein Problem.
Yeah. So let's talk about what we want to do, because what I really would love to have is I would love to have a forged slingshot with a little blade at the end, and the blade of course must be sharp and it must be hardened, everything. So basically I'm saying that we want a slingshot made from spring steel, right?
Ja, können wir gerne machen.
Okay. And we start with like a flat iron, or what is our starting point?
Also wir starten jetzt mit einem Flachstahl, genau, und meißeln das im vorderen Bereich auf, spreizen das dann auf und formen das dann aus und schmieden dann die Klinge aus und so weiter und so fort.
Okay. Well, then I think we should get to work.
Ja.
That was some kind of a break, because the thunderstorm was getting so hard that it was getting so wet in here because my roof is in shambles. And now we think we can start again. Blacksmith part of the job is done, right?
Ja, wir haben es geschafft, endlich.
A small interruption because of the weather, but I think it is now. It's really, of course, I will have to work on it some. I will have to shorten it because this fork is way too high for me, and of course it needs a handle. And of course, I also need to work with it with the belt sander.
Ja.
So, and then hone it to perfection.
Schleifen und polieren und dann
Dann
kannst du auf die Jagd gehen.
And I like this kind of very simple design, very simple, straightforward. I think it's a slightly dropped point, right?
Ja.
And of course it is absolutely straight. The hardening didn't do anything to it. But thanks, that was great. I learned a lot, and I have a beautiful piece, and now it is all mine and I can finish it. Thank you. And now we'll have a barbecue. So this is it. Of course there's a lot of fine-tuning ahead of me. I have to shorten the frame, and of course I have to sharpen the knife, and I have to give it an overall shiny finish. So there's some work to do. Let's get started. So here it is, a sling blade made the ancient way, fully sharpened, fully hardened, with a nice sheath and of course fairly strong rubber on it. Let me show you its features. As you can see, it's made from spring steel, and I think it looks beautiful now. Handle is from exotic wood, I forgot what type. The blade is fully sharpened, it's really sharp now, and it's of course absolutely straight. It is held in the sheath by means of magnets, so this means it cannot fall out. So you can insert it and it won't fall out, but you can very easily draw it. And the handle is made in a way that it works well both as a handle for the knife, but also for the slingshot. And yes, there is a blade in here, and a lot of people will now say this is very dangerous. It is not, because what can happen? I pull here, so of course, you need to know your slingshot shooting. But if you're very much afraid, you can always put it in the sheath and shoot it like that. So then there is no danger at all. So as you can see, I have it on my belt, and it's very, very easy to draw it. Very simple. And then of course, it is ready for shooting in no time. I went for medium strength bands because these allow me to shoot bigger steel balls and smaller steel balls all at once, just in the mix. We will start with a 13mm steel ball. 16mm size. And now we're going up to the 20mm size. My favorite ammo. As you see, it's a great slingshot. I really like it. And I like the heavier ammo because then you don't get any hand slaps. So does it cut well? Let's see. It does, it sure does. Actually I have to be very careful when I carve a thing like this because it's so sharp. Ting. So I now have a forge and I plan to use it for all kinds of things. But this thing here, you can actually win. All you have to do is leave a comment down below. Just anything, you know, try to be kind. In any case, from all the comments to this video, I will draw the winner next week and publish it on my Facebook page. Don't forget, it's a unique piece. It's a one of a kind, and it's a cooperation between Jörg Sprave, that will be me, and the great Stefan Roth. Imagine what a blade like this is worth. A true collector's item. So good luck. And please don't forget to download the game, because I need that sponsor. And also I promise it's a fun game.